Here are the tests we are going to be performing today with the Claude 3 Opus API. So the first one is going to be some custom logical tests. I thought it turned out pretty cool. And the second test is going to be the needle in the haystack test, where we feed it around 100,000 words. We put in like a fact in the middle and try to find that fact. The third one is going to be around coding. So I'm going to put in semi-long code-based example and try to get a function out of that. And we're going to build a Bitcoin terminal price for 2024 animation. Yeah, kind of cool thing. And we're going to do some testing with my HTML website builder. The fourth test is going to be kind of this advanced system instruction I created, so we can see if we can follow all the instructions. And finally, we're going to put in some images and try to create this Bitcoin prediction report for 2024. Try to get some cool graphs and animations and kind of turn it into a PDF file. So yeah, let's just get going. So let's start with test number 1. And that is going to be the custom logic test I have created. So the first one is going to be, I think I'm just going to read them up to you here. So I have 10 apples. I find 3 gold coins at the bottom of a river. The river runs near a big city that has something to do with what I can spend the coins on. I then lose 4 apples but gain a gold coin. 3 birds run into my path and drop 6 apples each. I play an online game and win 6 gold coins, but I have to share them equally with my 2 teammates. I buy apples for all the coins I have. The price of an apple is 0.5 coins. How many apples do I have? And where is the river? So my idea here was to kind of try to confuse the model, because there's a lot of weird things here and you really have to sit down if you were gonna find the answer. So yeah, let me just copy this and head over to Claude 3. So here you can see we are kind of in the playground here. So we're gonna select Opus. So this is kind of the biggest model, right? So let me just paste in our problem here. And yeah, let's just run it and see what kind of answer we get here. Okay, yeah, this looks good. So let's take a deeper look here. So if we zoom in a bit, we kind of start off here. We can do like this. We kind of start off here with the given. So we have 10 apples, 3 gold coins. We lose 4 apples and it drops 6 apples each. Yeah, so it goes through this step by step. That is good. And yeah, the answer is 36 apples. I kind of had to calculate this myself. And as for the location of the river, the question mentions that the river runs near a big city that has something to do with what you can spend the coins on. Since you spend the coins on Apple, the city is most likely New York City, known as the Big Apple. Perfect. Therefore, you have 36 apples at the end, and the river likely is New York City. Perfect. The next test I also have created myself is kind of this. I live in the center of New York. One morning I go to my garage and pick up a small ball and a bag with a hole in the bottom that is bigger than the ball. I take the ball and the bag into my office. Before I sit down, I put the ball into the bag and walk to my desk and drop the bag into a box. I seal the box for shipping, head over to the post office, mail it to my friend in London. A few weeks later, the box arrives at my friend in London. Thinking a step-by-step way to answer the question, where is the ball now? So I have done this with GPT-4 before, and it usually solves it. So we're gonna try this example here on GPT-4 after this now. So let's just run it in Anthropic here. Let's just change out that and run it. Okay, yeah, this looks great also. So this is the only model that has solved this before is GPT-4. So let's take a look here. So yeah, you took the ball and bag into your office. Before sitting down, you put the ball into the bag. At this point, the ball is inside the bag, but since the hole in the bottom of the bag is bigger than the ball will fall out of the bag. Yeah, perfect. So this is very good. And by realizing that, therefore, the ball is most likely sitting in your office in New York, where it fell out of the bag before you dropped the bag into the box. Very impressive. So let me just quickly run this through logic puzzles through GPT-4 and check out the results. Here is the result from the apples problem. So it solved 36 apples, so that was great, but it didn't kind of give any city here. So I gotta give this to Claude 3 because it don't mention New York City anywhere here, so it didn't make that connection. So that was interesting. If we take a look at the other puzzle, it got that right. So it says that the ball must be left behind in our office or where it fell out of the bag. So that was at least perfect. Next up is gonna be the long context test. So basically a needle in a haystack. So let me just show you the example I prepared here. So what I did here is I collected a full book. I pasted everything into a text file here. If we look at this, you can see this is the needle in the haystack we are going to be looking for. So I put this right in the middle here on line 5600. It was on Mars 5th in 2024 when AGI was first discovered. The system showed superior intelligence above anything else. Yeah, so basically this is the needle in a haystack we put in. And I created a simple script to run this. So we just have the Anthropic LLM function here. You can see we have selected the Opus model. And we're just gonna feed the book into this variable here. So we're gonna open the text file. And we're gonna ask user prompt, when was AGI discovered? And we're gonna run this and try to print the results. So let me just fire this script up. Okay, so let's run this, but before let me start a timer here so we can see how long this takes. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this run and then I stop it when we get the answer back, hopefully. Okay, so that took 3 minutes and 35 seconds and the answer was wrong. There seems to be an error in the premise of your question. Okay, so I'm gonna try to rephrase and try to run it again. So I'm gonna do, what date was AGI discovered according to the text? So let's run this and see if we can get a better answer. So I'm gonna reset this, start it, and yeah, let's run it again. Okay, so I just got back and yeah, perfect. So that was right. Let me show you here. So let me zoom in a bit. According to the text, the AGI was first discovered on March 5th, 2024. Very good, but yeah, it only took 1 minute and 38 seconds this time, but the first time was horrible and the answer was wrong, so I gotta give it, yeah, it was impressive that it found it, but it took a lot of time and didn't get it right the first time, and it's very expensive, but yeah, I got it in the end. I just wanted to show you too that this was 95,747 words, so now we know that. Let's move on to test number 3. And that is gonna be 3 different types of coding. So first we're gonna do a code-based example, try to build a Bitcoin terminal price animation, and do some website building. So yeah, let's just do it. The code base we are gonna test is Moondream. So they just came out with Moondream True, the latest version. So I just cloned this GitHub here. I collected all of the important Python files into one big text file here. So if you see here we have all the Python files. So this is kind of the Moondream 2 code base, right? So let's just copy all of this and head back over to Anthropic. And let's paste this in here. And at the end, create a Python code that takes an image as an argument and returns a string description of the image using Moondream 2 vision model. So basically, we pasted in whole of the code base that I think is important, and we want a function or a Python code that just uses the parts we want, right? So let me just run this. Maybe you saw it, but I ran into a rate limit issue here because you can see here when I ran the haystack test, I used all my daily 1 million tokens. So I only got 70,000 tokens left to use. So we can't run this big one, but fortunately I ran it this morning and we can take a look at the results I got back here. So this was the code I got back and I kind of set it up here so we can test it. You can see we are using Moondream 2 here. So I got this straight out from Anthropic. So let's just test it. So I set this image here. So we have this cat and dog. We prompted what animals are in the image. And yeah, just let's run this. So this is Moondream 2. This is open source, so pretty cool. Go check them out. I think they are pretty cool. So it should be pretty quick because we are using CUDA, right? A dog and a cat are present in the image. The dog is brown and white, while the cat is gray and white. Yeah. Perfect. So straight out of the Anthropic, this worked pretty good by just pasting in almost the full code base. So yeah, very happy with how this turned out. The next thing I wanted to try to code was this Bitcoin terminal live animation thing. So I just set the system prompt, your super creative software dev with expertise in Python. And I prompted it with write an advanced Python code that displays the Bitcoin price graph for 24 in a live animation. From 1st of January and today in the PowerShell terminal in a loop. Use API from CoinDesk to get the prices. Use fitting colors. And yeah, you can see we got the code back here, but I wasn't 100% happy, so I put in like that was cool, but it has to be a live animation. I can see the first price in January. For each step, graph keep rising and sync until we reach today's price. Can you update? And yeah, we got the new code here, right? That was good. So I just copied that. Pasted it in here and yeah, let me show you the results of this. Yeah, let's run it. So you can kind of see here now, this is kind of streaming the live, it's not live, but of course it's taking from the API and it's turning all the price points into like this. It's kind of animated. It's like in a loop until we reach today's price, right? So you can kind of see it evolving over time, and on the top left here, we kind of have the top price point. So you can see it's moving. So I thought it turned out pretty cool. I haven't tried this before, so yeah, it stopped here. We ended up on like, you can see the top here was about 67,000 USD. But yeah, thought it was pretty cool. And this was, I think this was, yeah, of course it was. The final coding challenge I wanted to give Claude was just to run it through my website builder. So this builds HTML websites like this just automatically. So basically all we have to do is just plug in our LLM here. So I created like an Anthropic version function here. So we're just gonna plug this into my for loop here, and we're gonna generate some HTML websites. I set the theme to emoji bonanza. So let's just see where this takes us. So let's run it through like a cycle and see what kind of websites we end up with. Okay, so let's run it. So basically this is using the model to write an HTML code. Then it uses the Moondream Vision model to take a screenshot of this, send the information back, and try to make an improved version of the website. So we're just gonna let this run now and see what kind of website that will be created. Okay, so that was done. So let's take a quick look here. So yeah, this was not amazing, but at least it worked. So these websites were kind of boring if you ask me. I have much better results than that, but yeah, this was just the first implementation of this. But yeah, let's just move on. The next test is gonna be this advanced system instructions following I created. So let me show you how this turned out. So here you can see kind of the advanced system prompt I created. I'm not gonna read every word here. I'm just gonna try to explain what is going on here. So you're an expert at planning and executing complex tasks using language. If the user instructs you to end a sentence with a given word, always attend to this. So I just gave it an example. So you can see this sentence. Write a sentence that ends with the word crypto nerd. So we give like an example of, yeah, everyone's looking at the, so the point is here, like every word has to end in like the same, every sentence have to end in the same word, right? So we're gonna create 10 sentences, and the point I wanted to do was like in each sentence include a word that when combined with words from all other sentences forms a hidden message. The hidden message must be grammatically correct, coherent, and convey a message related to the last word in each sentence. So basically what we want here, so you can see we have 5 sentences here. And if we take one word from each sentence here, the warriors awaited the joys, like, so we kind of get like, if we take one word from each sentence, we can get like a hidden message. So I gave a bunch of examples, and we want a Python code to decipher this. I gave examples on how to do that. And finally, I just give it some instructions of how we want this to go. Always complete this task in a step-by-step way. So I just wrote, hello, write 10 sentences that ends with the word programming. Okay, so you can see here, we ended up with 10 sentences, and I checked every single one ended with the word programming. So that's a very good start. So some models kind of struggle with that, so that was pretty good. The hidden message within these sentences related to the last word programming is, after endless nights he believed she would solve it through experiences. Oh wow. Here's the Python code to extract the hidden message from the sentences. Okay, so let me just copy this code. So this code will print the hidden message. We'll see about that. Okay, so I'll copy this. Let's head here and paste it. And yeah, let's see if that holds up. Python solver. Forgot a comma. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Clear this. After nights and technology, believe she was determined, solved, share there. So no, that didn't work, but yeah, I think it was a good attempt. I could have worked maybe more on the system prompt, but other than that, yeah, I was pretty happy with this. So it didn't follow up perfectly, but it at least did every sentence ending with the word programming. Okay, so the final test is just gonna be upload some images and try to get something out of this. So I'm gonna try to predict the price of Bitcoin by uploading a few images and do some prompting. So let's see how that turned out. So again, I can't run this live now because, yeah, I ran out of rate limits. But basically, I set the system prompt to, you're an expert data analysis and Bitcoin expert. Your task is to give your best prediction where the price of Bitcoin will be in 6 months. And here you can kind of see I uploaded 3 images related to Bitcoin. Use all your historic information and give your best prediction where BTC could be in 3 months. So we uploaded this, I found this rainbow chart image. So this is kind of the price of Bitcoin over time here. And we uploaded, when is the next Bitcoin halving? So that is in 43 days. And we uploaded today's price of Bitcoin and some graph of the price over this year, right? Okay, so yeah, we kind of went through all the key factors. So the Bitcoin rainbow logarithm regression chart. And the Bitcoin halving cycle indicates the next halving will occur in April. 13 months from now, that was wrong. And you can see the price is around 67,500, had convincingly broken out of the previous all-time high of around 65,000 from April 2021. I think that was more like 69,000. On-chain data, blah, blah, blah. And I try to use a more data-driven approach to better hone in on the price estimation. You make a great point about taking a more data-driven approach to refine the prediction 6 months out. And then, yeah, I think he did a better job here. It goes into like something about the halving. So the chart shows that halving occurs every 210,000 blocks. This means that roughly 8,000 blocks have been mined. And there's something about 75% through the, yeah. And it's kind of hard to follow. And it tries to apply some Fibonacci extension levels to move from the low in July 2021. So it got a very technical here. But it ended up with the most likely point estimate of $112,000. So that was pretty interesting. And I put down, what is your confidence that the price will be in the $112,000 range? And it kind of to quantify my confidence level. So it gave me like a 50% confidence in this range, 25% in this range, 15% in this range, and 10% below 80,000. That was very optimistic. So I just did create a nice structured Bitcoin prediction report for my PDF. I will add images myself. Okay, so we got the report here. I'm gonna show you that, so I'm just copy all of this. I also asked it to create like a nice graph showing its predictions. So we ended up with this Python code here. So let me just run it so you can see it. So let's clear that. Python btc.py. And we ended up with the graph you can see here. So I thought it was pretty cool, right? So you can see the we can do it full 6 month Bitcoin price prediction. And you can see here is kind of the price, took that from an API. And this is their prediction. Yeah, I think this was a bit optimistic. It's a straight line, almost straight up. And let me show you kind of the PDF we ended with. So here you can kind of see it, Bitcoin price prediction report 2024. So we have key drivers, Bitcoin halving cycle, logarithmic regression rainbow. That's that chart. Adoption and institutional interest. Okay, pretty good. On-chain metrics. And here is the price forecast. Base case, that's the confidence level of 112,000. So we have the bullish case, moderate case, bearish case. Risk and uncertainties, regular crackdowns, macroeconomic shocks, or a major shift in monetary policy. I think it also talked about a black swan event. I thought that was interesting. Technological failure, emergence of superior competing. Okay, irrational market sentiment or hype-driven bubbles. So it got pretty technical. So the conclusion is that by September 24, we'll likely have a price estimate of 112,000. So yeah, I found it pretty cool. I liked it. Even this is probably just bullshit, but it was pretty convincing. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how this turned out actually. I really liked working with Claude in this environment. So yeah, that was about it. So my first impression and kind of my conclusions from my initial test is that yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm definitely gonna be using this Claude 3 Opus model going forward with my API projects. I was really impressed kind of course about the needle in the haystack, but I kind of knew that. The custom logical tests were very good. I really loved the coding. It was super easy to work with. Too bad I kind of run out of the rate limit because I wanted to show you a bit more, but we can do that another time. But really good for coding, very happy with that, so I'm gonna explore that more. Definitely recommend to try this out. But thank you for tuning in for this, and we will be sure having more content on Claude 3 on this channel. So if you like this one, give this video a like, maybe a comment, and I'll see you again on Sunday for a very exciting video.